Welcome back to the Your Celestial Podcast. I am your host, astrologer and soul center transformation guide, Lumi Pelinku. So happy to be back on here recording for the week of February 2nd. And I just want to remind you, for those who have been following me, thank you so much for your support. And if this is your first time landing in this podcast, I welcome you to the space, as this is a podcast that is meant to help us learn astrology through the lens of soul embodiment and healing and awakening your inner starlight so you can live out to be your most radiant and fulfilled self. I'm so happy to be covering the week of February 2nd and its planetary energies here. And from what I'm seeing compared to last week, this is a much more calm week, thankfully. And if you have been feeling any feelings of uncertainty and as well as imbalance and fear or anxiety or all those kind of things, I want you to just remember that you have the soul free will to learn how to work through these transits to help you become much more rebalanced within self. And it all begins by you remembering where you come from and as well as remembering your soul's radiance. And as long as you hold on to that light and learn how to anchor this light into your body more consciously, more intentionally, you can change the world, and it all begins with you. Before we begin, I would love to invite you to subscribe to this podcast, rate, comment, anything that you feel guided to do if this episode resonates with you. And it helps the show circulate around YouTube. It helps circulate around all different podcast platforms. And if you're listening to me from any of those platforms, please rate and comment because it helps the show escalate and as well as circulate around for those who need to hear about astrology to create more peace, healing, and fulfillment in your life. And let's jump right into the week of February 2nd. Now we begin with February 2nd with this beautiful healing transit. It brings promise and so much energy and breath of light, like breath of life into our week as it begins on Monday, February 2nd. Mercury in Aquarius is forming a sextile with Chiron and Aries. Mercury is the messenger planet. It presents us this ability of learning how to articulate our thoughts and ideas and bring it into action, which is what Chiron will do in the sign of Aries. Chiron is the asteroid that has to do with healing our old wounds, also becoming much more conscious of our past, conscious of all the lessons we've learned, and learning how to transmute it into purpose. And with the Aries energy in combination with Chiron, it helps you plant this seed of initiation of some sort. And Mercury, in forming in a beautiful supportive sextile with Chiron, it presents us this ability of having more honest conversations regarding what have we been missing in our lives. It also brings forth this ability for us to form the words through the healing lens. And also it presents this ability for us to become much more courageous in our self-expression here. You may feel much more inspired to share your truth, and you'll even feel more guided and inspired to start therapy or coaching. Maybe you're even feeling the gravitation to explore these realms of higher expression, and as well as finding the support for you to feel better and more supported in this life, or you'll even extend a helpful word or sound and soothing word for another person who needs to hear it. If you're feeling guided to express this with someone that you feel needs to hear this message, this transit invites you to do so, because from where this planetary transit presents for you, it helps you become the healer in this life. And it's not to say you should be a healer or starting to become a therapist or of any sort, but just know that this energy presents you this opportunity to start giving back to society. It's a very transformative energy through the lens of paying it forward. And if you're feeling guided to do this, will only pave you to your dharmic path. You'll feel much more supported. And when it begins with you, the kind word exchange, the optimism, and as well as the support given to others, it returns to you. So it's just It's in a way like a rebalancing of any unresolved karma, any unresolved issues or experiences that you've gone through. This is your chance to help pivot this into a much more purposeful and much more supportive exchange here with those that you have been feeling this need to exchange words or support, guide, trust this feeling and go with it. This transit also reminds you that the voice is your medicine. So you speak from authenticity. You'll even feel that perhaps even music will be a conduit for you to start channeling these insights for other people to follow. So if you're feeling the need to sing or find sound healing, sound therapy, it could become your soul's medicine here. So this is a way for you to start implementing more sound therapy, sound healing medicine, and this will help you feel much more anchored in this transit. So enjoy it. And now on February 3rd, we have Uranus finally stationed direct after it's been in retrograde for several months now. Now, the good news is that Uranus will make its final move into the sign of Taurus. So that instability that you've been feeling regarding your structures, your path, or any sort when it involves your security, that earthquakey feeling that you've probably been experiencing for some years now it's making its way into the sign of Gemini in a couple of months. So this is the final wave of Taurus energy where you'll feel a little bit of the instability, but the good news is this marks a turning point in regards to where you'll find the security here. And now that it's stationing direct, it's going to shift its electric energy forward again, which is very exciting because it will be a turning point in regards to how we approach our finances, our values, technology, and even personal freedom. So, whatever felt stuck or uncertain in the recent months, it may suddenly move forward with much more clarity and momentum. So, if you've been feeling uncertain in regards to a goal, feeling uncertain in regards to any forms of structures that you've been building for some time, you'll have much more clarity and understanding as to what you need to do to make it happen for yourself. So, for the next few months, expect insights, surprises, or breakthroughs in regards to your finances, career direction, and even your relationship with security. So, hang on steady, trust the flow, and try not to hold back whenever you're feeling light and right. Light and right. I like to call it that because it's the truth. Because whenever you are learning how to incorporate your intuition as the barometer for your decisions, if it feels light and right, you'll be able to navigate your course much more soundly. And Uranus is here to remind you that whenever you're feeling the earthquakiness, it's your soul's wake up call for you to start evaluating the structures that have been outmoded, or if you've been falling into habits that are not aligning for your highest good. This is your message to become much more aware of your intuitive nudges or twinges, I like to call it. So learn to trust this path, and Uranus will definitely pave the way for you. You'll find a smoother path and groundedness in order for you to find the newer version of security that will work just right for you. And enjoy this transit. So now on February 4th, Venus in Aquarius meets Chiron in a beautiful sextile. This is such a glorious exchange here because Venus in Aquarius wants nothing more than freedom and liberation through the lens of love, while Chiron and Aries will grant that fire and awareness in regards to how you can make that happen for yourself. So when Venus and Chiron meet in a healing aspect, this is the time to focus on your relationships, self-worth, and your approaches to love. Great news is that it is a very tender and heart-opening kind of energy. So if you are feeling called to have vulnerable conversations regarding unresolved matters in the realms of love, this is the time for you to do that. It's also time for you to revisit old relationship wounds or deepen the intimacy through honesty. So trust that. If you are having any bridges that have been burned before, this is your time to start rebuilding that, or at least through a consciousness aspect. If you're feeling like you have no way whatsoever to reach out to that person, where you have no option to make amends, this is the time for you to engage much more in cord cutting and also engaging in practices such as you learning how to engage with your higher consciousness mindset, your higher self, and learn how to communicate with the other. So for the person that you have left things unsaid or undone, The other, you could write a letter or you can meditate and also like form some kind of dialogue between yourself and as well as the other person to make amends through an energetic spectrum here. So if that is like totally out of reach for you, and if you're unsure of how to do this, I would recommend you to write a letter. Writing letters, it could even be writing a letter to yourself. It could be writing a letter to the person that you need to make amends with in an energetic sense. It could even be writing a letter to your old self, your past, all the experience that you've been feeling where you need to let go in order to invite a much more graceful path for yourself. The great news is that this transit will grant this for you. So start trusting on making peace, and also finding the understanding as to what has been left unsaid or undone. Just have grace for yourself in regards to yourself and the choices you've made or the other person whose choices that they've made. This is a time to make amends. And even in the energetic self, that's the way to do it. And enjoy this transit because this is a beautiful time for self-love rituals, journaling, or reconnecting to the parts of yourself that once felt guarded. So this is a heart-opening experience that you will be going through on this day. And healing love always begins with the way you speak with yourself. So start implementing these practices and you will be able to find the breakthroughs that you need. So now on February 6th, Mercury, the planet that has to do with messages, ideas, and communication, enters the sign of Pisces. As Mercury moves into the sign, the energy softens and we also become much more intuitive, emotional, and spiritual. So it feels like the veil's thinning in a way. And logic gives way to intuition. So anything that has to do with the linear ideas or structure or systems, Pisces does not flow in that direction. And Mercury is not exactly happy in the sign of Pisces, but the only way for you to buffer this kind of energy, you'll have to become much more involved with your inner self, your soul self, and start paying attention to your dreams. Begin practices with meditation and learn how to feed your soul with music and creative expression. This is the powerful combination for you to start working with Mercury and Pisces because if you let go the expectation, if you let go of the linear systems, if you let go of structures, you'll find more inspiration and a lot more creative opportunity here. And if ever you're having conversations with people, it could be a little hard to get your message across here. So I would like to remind you to become much more invested in practices such as writing down your ideas before you even present it to others, and also become much more reflective in terms of your listening. So if you are listening to someone who's talking to you, become much more observant before reacting because the only way for you to build compassion is through listening intently before judging. And this is a beautiful time to listen to your inner voice, journal your dreams, connect with your centered self. So you may feel more empathetic, sensitive, and spiritually open, and you have to honor that. And that is your message for Mercury and Pisces for the next few weeks. So enjoy this transit. So then at the end of this week, on February 8th, Venus in Aquarius will be in square with Uranus and Taurus. This is a very interesting time because we're closing this week with another Uranian jolt, and just in time for us to pay attention to our love and values. So whenever Venus squares Uranus, it could bring unexpected shifts in your relationships, but also bring sudden attractions and passion in your exchanges with people, and it changes your expectations in the realms of love here. And it also changes how you view yourself. Even your self-worth will be shifting here. It's very unconventional. It's a very unconventional kind of exchange here because it will give you this detached feeling in regards to love. And it's not to say that you won't experience the tethering and the settling of love, not at all. But it will give you this inspiration to see love through a completely different lens. So if you have to go more experimental, if you want to invite much more expansive experiences with love, but even if you're single, it's the same thing because if you are not in a relationship just yet, if you're doing something different, if you're changing the patterns of your daily life, it actually will bring more serendipitous events. So this Venus-Uranus square will bring this information that you need to attract all of your desired outcomes here. You may crave more freedom. You'll also want to tap into authenticity and a new way of relating with others. And it's not about like disruption for disruption's sake. It's about you awakening to what truly feels aligned to your soul and your human experience here. So allow love to be liberating and not constricting. And when you are working with these kind of energies in that kind of expression, you'll attract much more fulfilling experiences. And to close this episode, I want to draw an oracle card as promised for the week ahead, just to see what the mood is and what we can do to anchor these energies of the week, what additional tools we can use, and inspiration, if we will. We'll see some parallels here probably. And let's just take a grounded breath before I draw this card because I feel like I need to do it right now because I've been talking about this such an exciting week. And I just want to ground you into your body. And I want to ground myself into this body right now. Okay. Just feel into your heart. If you're feeling tense after last week's transits, I understand we have major ones. If you recall, if you haven't listened to that episode, I totally would recommend you to do so because we had such a transformational week with the Neptune and Aries transit and as well as the Mars Pluto conjunction. So I want you to feel into your body. If you're driving, please imagine this. Do not engage in this practice right now. You can do this later. So I want you to feel into your body. Okay, before we draw this card, I feel like we need to do this. Relax all the cells, relax all your body. Relax your jaw. Relax your eyes. Relax your arms, your hands, your core, your legs, your feet. Just allow it to loosen up. You can even put your hands at your heart center. Put your hands at your heart center. Take a deep breath in and slowly exhale out in 4 counts. Now, with all of this Aquarius energy for the week, Aquarius, Venus in Aquarius, Mars in Aquarius, we're working with teal. The color of teal. It's a color ray in association with Uranus. I want you to imagine from the skies above this light, this tubular light from the cosmos above. It's Uranus's energy. It's Uranus's ray. Teal light crowning into your body, crowning to your head. Imagine it filling all of your cells with its glorious light. Gives you this energy, inspiration. It also provides you courage to embrace the changes. It also provides you the energy to move forward with things that you never thought you would do. It gives you happiness in the idea of change. It gives you regeneration. You're so excited to take this step into the unknown. Smile into it. Just embrace the idea, the opportunity, the potential, an open path in front of you. Aquarius is ruled by Uranus. That's why teal is the most fitting color to work with today and this week. Just imagine it cradling you and supporting you in your journey. Smile into it, embrace it. Again, it's going to ground all of the energy, all of that old stuff that you don't want in you anymore, in your subconscious, in your mental sphere, in your body. Just shake it off and just allow it to ground you into your space. All right, breathe it in. And exhale 4 counts out. Perfect. Now I'm going to draw the card because I felt ready and I was like, I needed to do that. So we covered a lot of stuff in regards to these beautiful transits this week. And let's see what we're working with in terms of the oracle card message. Let's see what additional advice we need. This is so beautiful. Okay, what do we got? I'm so excited to show you this. This is exciting. Okay, we got the Angel of Love. Oh, I haven't seen this card in a long time. Presenting in the podcast, but even for my personal self, like I'm just like looking, I'm like, oh, lovely. This is perfect because this has to do with Venus's energy this week. The Venus sextile Chiron, that's an empowering transit in regards to where you stand in the realms of love. Angel of Love has an opportunity for you to embrace your life, see your life through the lens of love, no matter where you are. Even if you're in a challenging space right now, in love, relationships, how you view yourself. The good news is the Angel of Love has something to offer for you. It's about you seeing yourself through the lens of softness, through the lens of embracing the opportunities of love. Love can come in all shapes and forms. It can come through your partner. It can come through your parents. It can come through your friends. It can come through your animal companions. It can come through the earth itself, come through the divine, comes through your soul-centered self. Just know that you are love. No matter how hard you feel that it's hard to reach regarding like where you are, even if you're feeling challenges with the external circumstances and what's circulating around with the news and media and all that stuff, just return to center. Learn how to hold your heart steady and believe that love is all around you, even though things that are very questionable. I totally understand. I get it. But as long as you hold on to that light, you hold on to the beauty that you hold inside, the beauty of your soul-centered self, just know that you can also change the world here. Believe in that. And stunning. Like, I love that she's literally holding the heart on her hands. It's out. When you're safeguarding your heart too long, it hardens. I've been there. I understand completely. It's a very challenging thing if you've been hurt before, if you've experienced so much tragedy and grief and trauma and all that stuff. I know it's hard to open it after all that. It takes time. But the great news is if you're open to it, you're going to be stepping into a new era that is full of potential with love. And it all begins with you. You have to start loving yourself, even if you had experiences where you questioned yourself and your interactions with people or things that have been left unsaid, unresolved, undone. It all begins now. You always have opportunity to change your life. It always begins with you. It always begins with you. Just learn to trust it. So the pink energy, pink light, that's the higher octave of Venus. So Venus's light is green, the ray of light. Pink is the purity of the love. Green is about transforming your love and as well as healing your heart. So this message means that you are entering a new stage. If you've been doing the work or you're about to start doing the work, just know that you're one step closer to attracting the love that you want. And the great news is this week is full of opportunities for that. So for whatever it is that you have experienced for some time now, this is the week where things will start opening up and you'll start making sense as to what you want in relationships. So trust that. Start calling in your love, calling in experiences that you want. 2026 just started. So there's plenty of time. Time is on your side. The detail of this card is she's holding rose quartz. So if you've been feeling like you want to start doing more heart opening invocations, I would recommend you to work with rose quartz here. I actually have a moon sign e-guide, which could help you start to open up your heart. Because the moon in your birth chart has to do with your ability of tapping into your vulnerability and learning how to strengthen your inner security. So if you haven't checked that already, look at the link below in the show notes for my moon sign guide. And it will help you learn how to tap into your emotional energy in order for you to start working on opening your heart and space. And it's a good place to start. So thank you so much. And this is such a beautiful message. And I love closing this episode with this. It's one of my favorite cards in the deck. So good news. So thank you so much for watching Your Celestial Podcast. Please remember that as you move through this week, remember that the stars don't dictate your destiny. They just illuminate your path back to your soul. And if this episode resonated, please subscribe to YouTube, Spotify, all streaming platforms where you listen to your podcasts, and take a moment to rate and review this podcast because it really helps this podcast circulate around, and your support helps this space grow and reach more people who need to listen to these messages each week. And if you'd like to deepen your journey, you can download my moon sign e-guide. It's located in the show notes below, and it will teach you how to work with your moon sign in order for you to rebuild your own inner security and safety and learn how to tap into your emotions in a more graceful way. And until next week, keep shining, keep trusting, and remember, you are celestial. And I will see you next week.